Hey everyone, you're with Tom from Ludicrous Feed. Thank you so much for joining us today on episode 6 of Tesla and EV news from Australia to the world. I'm joined today by my co host Riz from Carloop. Hello Riz, how are you?
Yeah, going well, Tom. Thanks for having me on. Very exciting with the Tesla Semi event today, but we've got lots of other news to cover.
Indeed, we'll certainly do a special semi roundup and summary after they launch it today. All right, so welcome to episode 6 indeed. Let's put up the news headlines for today. Mercedes-Benz launches its luxury electric EQV mover, people mover, in Australia. Thanks, Riz, for this article.
All good. It's happened. Apparently, you can place orders on them. Just got to have $170,000 worth of cash on you, including on roads. So it starts at $155,000, but they said that it's for large families. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that is the demographic they're looking for here in Australia. I think it's more airport transfer and sort of luxury corporate transfer, those type of things. Why this is significant is because this space hasn't really had anything. I think, Tom, we tested the MIFA 9
Mm.
from LDV recently, but Mercedes is known for producing luxury cars. So it would be interesting to see when they get the first of these on our roads. We'll get to hopefully test drive them and give our viewers a bit of an idea of what they're like. Um, but good to see because corporates have a lot of environmental requirements, ESG requirements coming up, where when people that work for large corporates do travel, they will have to be traveling in zero emission vehicles. So getting a transfer in an electric EQV is
Mm.
going to become pretty much a bit of a norm for those luxury corporate travel market.
Yeah, I think you're right, Riz. I'm not sure if the large family market is what they're aiming for. I think you're right. It's the corporate airport transfer pickup market.
Mm.
And look, Mercedes has traditionally been associated with that luxury segment of the market. And how much was the Me for 9? They were asking 106 or something like that.
Yeah,
Are
plus on
starting at,
roads.
yeah, plus on road. So this is 155. I guess for 50% more, you get a Mercedes. Yeah, I guess choices to be made by, those companies that do a lot of airport pickups and drop offs.
One thing I did notice about this was that I think Mercedes is trying to simplify their lineup. I mean, I think you remember, Tom, Mercedes, BMWs, and Audis haven't really been very good with simplifying their options and other things because they hope people will pick them, and they cost quite a bit when it comes to options and different variants. This seems to be only be released in one variant, or I didn't pick up that there were multiple variants of this. There's one price, there's one battery pack. So interesting to see that they're launching just one off, which is good in some ways. It makes it easier for those companies to pick just that one model.
Mm.
Um, so I think they're learning from Tesla as well to simplify the number of variants you make available to um, especially customers and then corporates as well.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Is make it easier for customers to buy. Right? I guess it's like going to a restaurant with 1,000 things on the menu. It's very confusing. You kind of want a few things you're familiar with, and I think Mercedes has got this right. If they just release a few variants, a few key stats, like they're asking 90 kilowatt hours for a 418 kilometers. I know it's NEDC, so let's say 300 kilometers. Make it simple for people to know what the car is about, what the vehicle's about, and make the pricing simple too, so people know they're not paying for anything they don't need or any hidden extras. So yeah, simplify things for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't mind being picked up in one of these, Riz. Next time I travel around to Melbourne or Brisbane or anywhere else in Australia.
Well, we'll make it happen. We'll get Mercedes on board, and that I think that what they need to do with this sort of vehicle is to allow people that understand EVs to try it out, because at the moment there aren't any real options. The MiFi 9 we mentioned is 100 and the top of the range was something like
Mm,
$130,000 plus on roads. It will
mm,
get very close to this. Well, not very close, 20, 30 grand, close enough in
yeah.
this space. But obviously, as we said, Mercedes is known for luxury, and we need to make sure that we pick Tom up in one of these to get him to wherever he's got to go.
That's right. I'm happy to drive one too. Happy, to pick Riz up somewhere.
Get the real experience.
So Riz, this one is an ad for Australia's cheapest electric vehicle on the second-hand market, a 10-year-old Mitsubishi i-MieV.
Yeah, that's quite cool to see. There's still quite a few of them running around, and they didn't sell too many. Um, and this one was the cheapest one at under 20,000. I think it was 17,990 or something like that. When I sort of did, look through car sales, as sometimes you do, looking for interesting things, and it's got under 35,000 kilometers, which is 32,000 kilometers, under $18,000 drive away, and it looks pretty clean. Um, yeah, very cool to see these. They didn't sell too many, as I said earlier, but you do see them running around, and I've spotted a fair few.
Yeah, look, it's, if you want a cute little car from Japan, that's still going pretty strong 10 years on. This one's claimed 155 kilometers of range, so yeah, definitely a city car. If you want a cheap EV, there it is, Mitsubishi i-MieV in the second-hand market in Australia. All right, the next article is, Ohmie Go offers 2 more Tesla Model 3s for tenants to share. Now, this is, they've got a few of these in Sydney and Melbourne. It's sort of an in-house electric vehicle. If you're in a strata complex or a business complex, you can actually hire these. Not available to the general public, but just as tenants who want to use that car for a day or so, and they're priced accordingly depending on how long you want to use them.
Yeah, quite a good concept. Obviously, it helps with reducing the number of cars on the road because not everyone needs the car or kind of really needs to pay for one. And yeah, if everything's sort of managed through Ohmie Go, and there's a couple of others as well that are doing something similar to this, but it's good to see it's one way of solving EV ownership in apartment buildings, which is really, really cool. And sharing is the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Sharing is caring. I've actually spoken to Mr. Carl Bolto, the CEO of Ohmie Go. He sort of showed me a little bit of how the system works. It's pretty cool. All the Tesla app functions are actually in the Ohmie Go app. It's integrated in their app. So he's very kindly allowed me to test one out very shortly. So watch this space. I'm gonna
Awesome.
test it out for you guys on Ludicrous feed. The next article is from China. XPeng allows all orders placed before year end to enjoy this year's subsidy. So I think traditionally the benefits from the Chinese government EV subsidies have only applied once you take delivery, but I think XPeng is allowing this to happen for orders before delivery, before the end of the year.
Yeah, and that's something that the EV manufacturers are working to because they feel the demand may drop afterwards if people are not being incentivized. So you'll see a huge rush, particularly with Tesla and the production and deliveries in China as well this quarter, and XPeng's doing something similar as well. There is the word on the streets is that they may be extending the subsidy into 2023, but it's not certain yet. The economic situation probably will warrant them to extend it. So it's still a good thing that for those that are still not sure whether to get one or not, I think that these subsidies will help.
Yeah, I'm very interested in this copter thing in the back behind the P7 there. It looks pretty cool, like a 1 or 2 person drone people mover. Wouldn't mind trying one of those maybe.
Yeah, that's right. It's I think they're trying a few of these flying, chopper concepts. Hopefully, there's enough redundancy in case the battery or the propellers give way.
Oh my
Maybe
goodness.
a parachute pops up.
What about a XPeng P7 launch in Sydney or Melbourne with one of those copters bringing us to a site
Oh,
undisclosed?
that would be the way to go.
That would be cool. Staying with China, BYD now to sell EVs in Mexico next year, aiming for 10% share in the long term. Riz, is that a bit of a pipe dream, 10%, or is that achievable in Mexico, do you think?
I think in the market that they're going into with the number of EV entrants, we know affordable EVs are rare and BYD is one of the brands that is making them. So even if they enter with some of the more expensive products now, they will. I believe they'll be able to get there. I'm not entirely sure what the annual sales volumes are in Mexico as such, but EVs, more affordable EVs that can do the distance, that would be good in markets like the South American market. That is currently very few EVs are there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, particularly in areas like Mexico, Latin America, many parts of Southeast Asia where affordable cars are a must. Then yes, I think BYD will definitely do well along with the other Chinese brands. So we shall
Mhm.
definitely watch that space. Next one, yes, electric Corvettes coming to the US in 2025. Sacrilege, four-door and SUV variants for the Corvette. I love the Corvette brand actually, Riz, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, four-door SUVs. Is that your cup of tea there?
Um, I mean, just by looking at that picture, it looks a little bit like, a bit of Lamborghini look, that type of thing. And Lamborghini's gone four-wheel, well, not four-wheel, well, they are all-wheel drives, but they're also
Four
big
doors.
V8 and
Mm.
V12 four-door SUV things. So I think a lot of these luxury brands will be going that way. Lotus, we've seen it. I think it's Altair, their new electric SUV that will be launching next year. And on the Corvettes front, not sure what the traditionalists feel about this, but it's good to see that they're giving it a go.
Yeah, look, the bottom line is the bottom line, right? And we know SUVs sell well, so yeah, as you say, the Lamborghini, I think it's the Unos,
Yes.
a four-door SUV variant. So yeah, it looks like Corvette's heading the same way as well. Yeah, next article also from Electrek. Rivian CEO discusses the platform to profitability, supply chains, and more.
Yeah, so it's good to see the level of transparency. I really want, I'm sure we all do want Rivian to succeed. We recently covered in one of our previous episodes, they launched in Canada. So they are expanding. And yeah, I mean, the real path to profitability will be the unique positioning that they have and just being able to ramp up production. If they can do that, that would be, they would be very niche and popular in the adventure space. And we want them to succeed.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like, manufacturing and scalability was the issue pre-COVID, and now post-COVID, it's supply chain issues. So whoever wins that will win the race, I think, to EV sustainability. And we definitely want to see Rivians in Australia. Definitely. I think it'll do very well for sure. One more article from Electrek, the Lordstown Endurance EV pickups. Yeah, obviously the pickup market is huge in the US and North America. And, it's translates well to Australia as well with our ute market. So, yeah, another possible market entrance.
I'm quite excited about this, particularly because it's being manufactured by Foxconn, and we know they can manufacture iPhones really well, and apparently they can manufacture large EVs. And their CEO and founder has been very serious about expanding into this space, and I mean they know manufacturing really well. So if they can get the supply chain issues sorted around batteries, this type of truck or ute will do really well. I feel if they can manufacture them back in Taiwan with something similar, that would be great for our market to be able to get these sort of vehicles in here as well. So hopefully they are nimble and quick at making this happen. The market is wide open for them.
Yeah, I must say, Riz, when we attended the LDV opening, they let us drive one of their ice utes off road, and I got a bit hooked actually. I quite enjoyed that, so I wouldn't mind testing one of these pickups off road, 4x4. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Very cool.
Next one is from Electric Drive's Vauxhall, which I guess is the Holden. So the Holden brand that was being sold in the UK unveils all new Astra Electra and Astra Sports Tourer Electric. So here we go, another shooting brake estate type vehicle.
Yes, General Motors, I like the direction they're heading in, but there is a lot of concepts. We have to see some of them on the road soon, hopefully. And my well, my concern is that if they don't get there quick enough, other European brands like Renault, they've already got hot hatches and electric. Cupra is another one which will be launching in Australia soon. Volkswagen, they've got these hatches and estates already in the market. So that would be the challenging part. So we wish Vauxhall all the very best, and hopefully they can get these cars to market. But yeah, they've just got to get them on the road.
Yeah, look, I think the Holden Astra did very well in Australia when they were being sold here, and yeah, everyone loves a Holden station wagon. So, if Vauxhall can do well in the UK, hopefully we'll get a similar type car here under the GM brand. Interesting line here, by 2028, Vauxhall has committed to being an electric-only manufacturer, 7 years ahead of the UK government's target of 2035. Very interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at some Tesla-Rati articles now. So Tesla Sentry Mode gets refined to better detect vehicle break-ins. So I think this is allowing real-time access into the in-car camera for Tesla Sentry Mode.
That should be quite good. I mean, it's very understated camera. Very few owners know about it, but we know it's there, and hopefully more functionality with it. There was some recent news that you may be able to do Zoom conferencing with it soon. So it's I'm not sure I'm sure you'd have to have the vehicle in park and a couple of other things, but that's really, really cool. So they're finally starting to make use of these hardwares and give owners an experience they didn't have in the past. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, maybe we could do some of our podcast episodes from the in-car camera there is.
That's it.
And you can also do other things like limit your recording length as well. Just be careful. I think Tesla does keep a lot of the footage. They say they don't release it to anyone, but it's probably stored in their server somewhere. So just be careful when you're picking your nose at the traffic light in your Tesla. Next article, Ford has produced 150,000 Mustang Mach-Es to date. So congratulations, Ford.
Yeah, good stuff there. I think the one we covered in one of our previous episodes just recently around consumer reports out of the US saying there was some, warranty and other issues with the Mach-E. Hopefully they've sorted a lot of them out, and producing the 150,000th one is great. And apparently by the end of, I believe, 2024, they want to produce 600,000 EVs. And quite a substantial amount of them will be the Mach-Es.
Yep. Look, I remember, 20 years ago, there used to be motor shows in Sydney and Melbourne. I used to love going to those events. They've stopped doing them, but with the advent of EVs, I think we really should be starting them up again and showcasing these electric vehicles that are being produced worldwide in Australia, just to give people an idea of what's available out there. So, yeah. Love to be involved, of course. So, yeah, let us know if you're thinking of hosting a motor show in Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane. Next article, Tesla wall connector chargers now available on Best Buy. Now, I guess this is more relevant to the US market because obviously now Tesla is opening up their proprietary hardware for charging over there to everyone. And now they're being sold, I guess, on different markets other than Tesla.
I mean, I'd love to see it here, right? Like, imagine being able to pick one up, especially for new owners, right? Being able to pick one up at Bunnings, as an example, or one of the larger sort of retail shops. I'm surprised the likes of, I know Tesla hasn't allowed for it, but I'm surprised the likes of Supercheap Auto, Repco, Autobahn, and the rest, they are not too interested in stocking any EV products, even cables and other things. So we need, as we get past the early adopters, which I feel we're starting to now, even though we're still quite early in the whole journey, we need to have access to these, cables, charging equipment like this at more retail locations as well.
Yeah, that's very true. I guess a word of warning to those retailers: don't stick your head in the sand because it is coming. Don't leave it too late, like other companies have done in the past. So, get those EV products into your stores because people will need them one day and they'll need them quickly. So get ahead of the curve right there. Good point. Sticking with Tesla righty, Daimler begins deliveries of all-electric Freightliner e-Cascadia Semi. This is interesting because obviously the Tesla Semi is being announced and launched today, so we'll probably see a whole bunch of electric semis and trucks being launched.
Yeah, I think it's good. This is particularly in the US market now. In Europe, Scania, Volvo, I believe even Iveco have been trying to get there, and Norway is starting to get a few on the road as well, which is great to see. Um, so yeah, I think this would be quite good in different markets and give truck and fleet operators an insight that electric trucks are sort of the future, and they've got to get on board.
Yeah, so to speak. Yeah, obviously having electric trucks too brings a whole bunch of issues too with, I guess, charging compatibility. Whether trucks can use other proprietary chargers from Tesla and vice versa. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens in the industry there. Moving back to China now, CNEV Post says that BYD may launch new model with sodium ion batteries in Q2 2023. So not lithium ion, sodium ion. And sticking with the marine life motif, BYD Seagull, pictured here in camo.
Yeah, very cool. So this is supposed to be even smaller than the dolphin that was recently spotted in Sydney by one of our viewers, Tom. And this one is, I think it will be sort of the size of a Nissan Micra for those of us that remember for those small micro cars. I think this would sell really well in in a city flexi car, that sort of space, ride sharing or car sharing we were talking about earlier. Sodium ion batteries, I thought when I read the headline, I was like, well, surely this is just a bit of a joke, as in it's not going to happen. But the article later on does cover that even one of the head engineers at CATL, the biggest battery manufacturer, has sort of outlined that this is a technology that can be used to deliver range at up to 400 kilometers NEDC, so around 300 kilometers WLTP range in smaller EVs, which is great to see. Like in developing countries, these cars will help decarbonize transport there.
Yeah, I could see their sodium ion batteries currently cost the same as lithium ion batteries. Yeah, look, I think this will do very well in that sort of inner city for the first world, and yes, certainly in the developing world, particularly that price point too, $8,484 presumably.
Mhm.
That's very compelling having a car like that running around town.
Well, $12,500 cars sold really well. The Hyundai Getz, when they launched that about 15 years ago, you used to see like newspapers that used to get delivered at home and big Hyundai dealership ads. 12,995. Come and get this little hatch in manual, but these are all automatic.
Yeah,
So it's 12,500 Australian dollars, even under 15,000. It's cool cars.
yeah, yeah. I mean, sodium ion, salt water, marine life motif from BYD sort of makes sense to me. All right, moving back to electric electric van life, 2024 Mercedes eSprinter, 300-mile range. That's pretty good range there for a van.
It's in some ways it's good to see that Mercedes is announcing and launching these vehicles quite quickly, um, and yeah, we need more of that because they do quite a bit of delivering of our packages and other things we order online. So yeah, the quicker we can get them here, the better.
Yeah, I've always said commercial vans and delivery vans with electric powertrain makes a lot of sense to me. You've got the depot there to recharge, and yeah, they generally don't do too long trips. It's just sort of around the city delivering stuff. So, yep, makes sense. So we'll see. Hopefully, Mercedes vans coming online soon. Back to electric. Tesla secures large EV fleet order from Caltrans, which is the California Department of Transportation. Trying to electrify their fleet.
Hmm. I think it's one of the larger orders they've received from a local government agency. Um, all rear-wheel drives, and I think that once they start to get deliveries of these, then they'd probably be ordering more. So it's a significant chunk of their fleet. I think nearly a quarter of them. So yeah, good to see government agencies getting on board and seeing the value in electric cars.
Yeah, locally too, here in Australia, New South Wales is certainly trying to electrify its fleet as well. And we know that government fleets and large corporate fleets that electrify their fleets will eventually buoy the second-hand market as they renew them every 3 to 5 years. So yeah, very much good to see. Drive Tesla Canada says Tesla updates Model S X with larger rear screen.
This news is a kick in the backside for many of us that in Australia that that are still waiting for Model S's to arrive. But it's a good thing. So the product that most Australian customers will end up getting in the form of a Model S or X will be a much better product than what they originally placed their orders on. So good to see Tesla making improvements in some of their latest cars as well, which the Model S has been.
Yeah, that's one benefit of being a bit slower to market for us. We get the latest and greatest. So yeah, very happy to see that come to Australia very soon. Drive Tesla Canada also reports NIO and Tencent partner to work on self-driving technology.
Tencent's the technological powerhouse of China with apps like WeChat. So really good to see them coming along and trying to partner with some of the local firms to help them get to the technological goals within cars quicker than they have been with their own efforts recently. So it'd be interesting to see how NIO's vehicles improve, especially from a software point of view. Not that we've really tested any yet, but we've seen videos and they're already pretty good. But it'd be great to see how some of these technologies implemented by technical or technology experts flow into our cars when we get them eventually.
Yeah, obviously we hear a lot about Tesla's full self-driving capability and testing in the North American market. Chinese brands are also doing it very quietly in the background here in China. And look, if you're watching, anyone from NIO, we are very happy to test them here in Australia as well on Ludicrous feed. So yeah, send us an email. Very happy indeed. Well, that's it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of Riz and myself, it's been a great wrap-up of what's happening in the EV world. Thank you once again, Riz, for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Tom. Lots of exciting things happening, and look forward to the wrap-up of the Tesla Semi event. Maybe there's a product in there that we don't know about yet.
Indeed, I'm looking forward to that for sure. We'll do a wrap-up on the next episode. All right, everyone, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next episode indeed. Take care, and as always, happy charging.